So, this is the third video I've recorded today because Thomas Marrone just had to release screenshots of the revamped Exeter class after I already did the news video on the upcoming event coming to Stowe. You're killing me, Thomas! Here it is, the updated Exeter class. Now, truth is, we've actually known this was coming for a while now because it was actually leaked onto the live server over on console several months ago at this point. But the reason it was quickly pulled off of the live server because it wasn't finished yet. So, yeah. But it looks like it is just about finished now because Thomas is posting pictures of it. So, yeah, here it is. And honestly, this is really nice. I mean, you can clearly tell it's using the Odyssey hull material, which is not surprising given that the original used the Type 6 hull material like the old version of the Odyssey did. But there are a number of, I mean, some of these changes are bigger than others. Like this kind of like divot down here into the saucer section. That's definitely different. There used to be like a layered look to it too, but now it almost has like almost like a ring look to it, almost like actually I remember someone earlier in the comment said kind of compared it to the look of the crossfield, and I kind of see it now. Obviously it doesn't have like the spaces between the rings, but like it's like someone closed up the gaps on a crossfield. Kind of neat. Yeah, there's a lot of other details polished up on here. It's really nice stuff. I really like how the name has been moved up into the darker portion of the hull and made it white so you can actually see it. Here's a picture of the underside, and yeah, similar detail, just a lot of enhancements than you would see on the original one. The escape pod's been moved out here, and again, they are using the same escape pod and window textures as you would see on the current version of the Odyssey. I also like that they added a little name here on the side, kind of a callback to the original Constitution. Those aren't on the existing version of the Exitor, which I like that little detail. The deflector looks a lot nicer. I like that. And it looks like it kind of pokes out of the hull a little bit too, kind of giving a little bit of a reminiscent look of the original Constitution deflector, just ever so slightly. That's kind of neat. Yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. I am very excited for this to hit for this to hit the live server finally, because I mean, like I said, we've known this is coming, and it's nice to finally see it in its glory. Over here, Thomas says it is coming soon to Star Trek Alliance, so we don't really know when. It could be coming with the new update, or it could be coming after that. It's hard to say because clearly they don't know, or at least they're not willing to say. I would bet it's coming with a new update though on the 28th, and then later on in June when it comes to consoles. So that would be my guess, but again, it just depends on when it's ready. Thomas goes on to explain how this remaster of the Exitor is a design refresh and a totally new model. So that means this is basically just done from scratch. He didn't like tweak the old one like he has on these other remasters. He's basically just remade the entire ship for the most part. The initial model work was done by our ex-dev partners at Virtuoso. After the initial delivery, I decided to take some time to refine the design more myself, which makes a little bit of sense given how the old design looked. We'll take a look at the original design in a little bit. Also down here, Thomas goes on to say, with this, all of the Constitution family in Star Trek Online is now in a good spot aesthetically. You see the Exeter as the same generation of ships design as the Odyssey class, and given the opportunity, that is the styling I would lean into with all the old T+ ships, which the T+ ships were the sort of the C-store equivalent of the leveling up ships. It's a sign of Star Trek Online's past, basically. Not a sign. It's a relic of Star Trek Online's past, I should say, because the tiered system was much more important back in the day when you were still leveling. But these days, with scaling T6 ships, those have been kind of all been rendered redundant. But there's still clearly a purpose for these ships now that their costumes are getting updated. Mainly more for the support of their legendary variants and the other T6 variants that have come to those ships since then. Actually, now that I think of it, now not all of those C-store versions of those ships were of the 2409 era. Like the Nova class, the C-store version of it was the Rhode Island actually, and and the Cheyenne's version, the C-store version of that was the Constellation, which we know is already in the game now too, thanks to already has a T6 version now in the game too. So I get. I guess I don't really understand what he's saying there, but at the same time, I'm guessing what he's saying is at some point in the lineage of these older models that there needs to be something of the modern, Odyssey class aesthetic among them. All right, now here is the old Exitor, and I mean, you can already see the huge difference between the two models. Like the escape pods are completely different. The default template is using the old Type 4 windows and escape pods. It's using the old Tier 6 hull material, which is not that surprising, but there's other little things like that, like this too. Like this dome here, it's less layered. Like I said, it kind of caves in a little bit on the new model, kind of creating a sort of a ringed look, almost vaguely similar to the crossfield. The bridge, the whole bridge cap is like completely different, and the escape pod layout is different too. Like these go along like the back of this portion and then kind of sit back here a little bit. Whereas on the revamped model, they've been moved along this inner ring, and then some of them I think were back here too. Yeah, same with the bottom layer on the bottom of the saucer too. A lot of them were like near the back of the saucer rather than at the sides, like here. Also these things, I keep forgetting what these are called, but I remember it's on like the that schematic layout that was released for the Enterprise F when it was in Star Trek Picard. But yeah, these have been removed from this part of the saucer, and I know one was back here, and I've already forgotten where the bottom ones were. But yeah, these are in a completely different spot. The deflector, I guess the deflector kind of is the dish look of the original series one too. I guess it looks like it's a little popped out more on the new model. Also, something I noticed, the delta is different. This is using one that's much more reminiscent of like the TMP era delta. So it's got the delta with the red circle behind it. Whereas I definitely saw the one on the new model is using the delta that is just like the one on the other Odyssey class ship. So it's just that lone silver delta with the red line. Yeah, it's yeah, you can really see how rough this old model is, and it's really nice to see it finally getting some love, because I've always thought this was a cool design. But yeah, it's aged so much since. I mean, this thing was released in 2011, so like this was kind of the standard back then, and it looked fine then. But yeah, it's really it's about time this thing got an update. I'm really happy to see it. Yeah, you can see here like it didn't have the name on the sides, down here, like the revamp has. So, but it still has the registry number up here, which I think it moved back a little bit on the revamp. I'd have to look at that again. Yeah, overall, it's gonna be cool to see that happen. I may fly that on a few different ships. It would be cool to just play around with, take some screenshots with, do some space Barbie stuff, yada yada yada. Especially now that the Temporal Light Cruiser is in a MUDs bundle, so you can do that on an account unlock. When it's available. It's not right now, but not that many of you probably have that MUDs bundle, because I get it, MUDs bundles are very expensive. I don't even have that MUDs bundle, but I do have the Temporal Light Cruiser from the event campaign, so that is where I will be using that. Yeah, you can look at this. Just look at this in comparison to like some of the other Constitution. Like here's the Constitution refit. Gorgeous model right here. Even this one is like more than a few years old at this point, but man, it has really stood up in comparison to the Exitor. But then here's some of the more modern ones. Like here's the Excalibur, which is another release era ship that has been updated within the past couple years. Which this thing is much prettier than it used to be. Same with the Vesper. Like this thing used to look so weird, and now it actually looks like it has a proper place in the timeline. And I love that Thomas decided to put this one into like the Lost era, so it's like something that would be kind of in between the Excelsior and the Ambassador, closer to the Ambassador's launch than the Excelsiors. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of cool. And of course, then we got the Phase 2 Enterprise and the original Enterprise down here. There's the original Yeah, these, even then, these look so much better than the Exitor. It's just crazy to see this one paired in with all of these other fantastic looking models. But that's why these remasters have been happening gradually over time. It's these older models tend to stick out like a sore thumb, and we saw that a lot on the Miranda class, because there was always like, the old Shikar class, which stuck out like a huge sore thumb because it looked horrendous, next to the updated Miranda, or like the TOS Miranda on the legendary skin. And then they revamped the Centaur eventually, and just then all the other Miranda variants that came out that were all also up to scale with the standard Miranda, which had been revamped. So yeah, the Shikar needed an update, and it got one. Though the Shikar is a bit of a different case too. It got like a complete like retcon. It was totally redone, whereas a lot of these others have been a bit more subtle in their revamps. Where, because like with the Exitor, you can clearly see it is still very much the Exitor. It's still very much in the 2409 time period. It still very much shares a lot of the design aesthetics with the Odyssey class, and that's on purpose. And because there's not a need to change that, so that's why these revamps have continued to happen, is that they're a bit less intensive than the Shikar, but it's nice to see that they're still happening. And I say still happening, we don't know what the future really brings to Star Trek Online, because if there might not be someone around there to keep doing these updates on other ships, which is sad, because the Nova class variants could really use them. But yeah. Anyway, I've rambled long enough now. It is 2:30 in the morning. You can probably tell that it is 2:30 in the morning given how much I am rambling right now. But the Exeter class revamp. Actually, let's go back to it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here we are, back at the updated one. Yeah, this is it's such an improvement. I love it so much. Like, just looking at it, I'm really happy that this is making it into the game, because it's so pretty. Yeah, it's very much that kind of ship where if you want that that Odyssey class aesthetic with, but wanting the old Constitution class feel to it, because like, I mean, this is an iconic silhouette right here, and it's cool to see it, updated for a bunch of different eras. Because like, I mean, look at this, we now basically have a Constitution for most eras within Star Trek. Because I mean, we got the original series, then we got the movie eras, then we got the Lost era, then we got like post TNG. So I guess we don't have like a hardcore TNG Constitution, but we got like the post TNG one, and now we've got Stowe era Constitution class, which I love it. I really do. Okay, like I said, it is like 2:30 in the morning, and this is like the third video I've recorded. So I just want to wrap up by saying thank you to Thomas Marrone for making this happen, because this is just absolutely wonderful to see, and I'm really glad it's actually happening and going into the game, because it looks absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, it makes me smile. So thank you for that, Thomas. As for the rest of you, be sure to like and comment down below. Let me know what you think of the new ship. Are you into it? Are you not into it? If you're not into it, what is wrong with you? This thing is gorgeous. Anyway, usual outro stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, check out the merch store, all the other usual stuff I talk about. Either way, though, thank you so much for watching. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.